Please let me feel inner peace. Center, center. Please let me feel inner peace from my center, at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center, at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center, at the center of me. My heart is open. I am aware. It means I'm knowing. Love, 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 my heart is open. I am aware. It means I'm knowing. Love, love, love,
Buenos días.
Please let me feel inner peace from my center, at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center, at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center, the center of me. Please let me feel, please let me feel from the center, at the center of me. My heart is open. I am aware. In these knowing. Oh, love, 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 my heart is open. I am aware. In these knowing. Oh, love, love, love,
Hey, that was so beautiful. Yay. So, good morning. Thank you so much, Marissa, for being here this morning. So, this is a beautiful Friday. We made it to the end of another week. Yay. So, it is February 15th, and our coping skill of the day is laughter. Pure humor equals a sustaining force. So it's so beautiful that when I did a live with Marissa Price, we were just giggling and chuckling. And whenever I watch that replay, a lot of the times I just want to hear us laugh together. And even my friend from high school who watched it, she loved our live, and her first compliment was how much we laughed together. And she loved that. So, yeah, just a beautiful coping skill, laughter. Pure humor. And another thing I'd like to share is I was on Kathy Hampton, her YouTube channel this morning. And after she did her journaling practice with us, she shared a beautiful story about where she gets her laugh from. And so how this came about, I typed into the chat, "I love your laugh, Kathy." And she ended up sharing a full story of where she got her laugh from her Uncle Fred, and just when she first met him when she was a baby. And it was a full story that was so rich in pure humor. And she was laughing the whole time that she was sharing this story. I'm not sure if her Uncle Fred is with us or not on this earth. However, the way she was sharing that story, I was smiling and chuckling the whole time she shared her story while she was laughing. And so laughter is contagious. And isn't it so beautiful to be around others who are open to their own joy? So, because joy is contagious, right? See, Marissa says, "I needed a reminder to breathe." I love this. We had fun. We did. And I always need a reminder to breathe as well. Woo. Doing these lives and going over these coping skills and being in this safe space has really taught me all over again the importance in consistency, even in moments where no one's watching, right? I have a value and a goal to show up in my life the way that I'm showing up here in this space, because this is my most ideal state of being, just this morning time peace, Osiyo vibes. So yes, I love that we're starting with music and breath. Yay! And now today our coping skill is laughter. I was thinking, should I tell a joke? What am I gonna do? I want to make everybody laugh. Um, and then I was just like, you know what? It'll come. It'll come. We're always laughing anyway. Alicia, Osiyo. Happy Thursday, beautiful people. Yay! We made it. We made it. It is Friday, February 15th. Yay! So this morning we listened to beautiful chorus, Inner Peace. So Inner Peace was the song, and beautiful chorus are the artists. Yeah. So that was beautiful. I'm glad that we had a chance to breathe. And yeah, so our coping skill, laughter. What makes you laugh? When have you noticed laughter change your whole state of being? When did laughter surprise you? Like, when did laughter start bubbling up from the inside and then you just let out a huge burst of laughter? I just want you to marinate on some of those memories. Because laughter is contagious. And I remember whenever I hear a group of people just burst out into laughter, I'm usually like, "What's so funny over there? I want to laugh. I want to know." So, yes. Who has a laugh that always makes you laugh, right? Oh, these things are so beautiful. Such blessings. I love hearing all of the different laughs. It's like so diverse, just like a bird's song. Our laugh is a song. Our laugh is music. Our laugh might have come from various family members that we either have met or not met, but we took on their laugh. We took on a sense of their joy, and we are a creation that is carrying that on. Isn't that so beautiful? I learned a lot of this from the story Kathy Hampton shared in her live today. She said her laugh came from her Uncle Fred. And she said she's always had a cackle And I believe that I received my laughter from my grandparents. I do. I believe that when I was younger, it was just natural for me to let out any type of laugh that sounded any type of way, right? And then once I got older, and in middle school, even in elementary, kids can be kind of mean. And so even siblings and cousins sometimes, even before I was in school, but they would mimic my laugh. They'd be like, and I would be like, are you mocking me? Like, I didn't think that was funny. And so then I started to hide my laugh. And then I started to, like, try to be cute about it. But no, there is nothing like too high. There is nothing too loud. There is nothing too abrupt when it comes to my laughter. Yeah, so let's see. Thank you for sharing. Marissa says, I am the same way. When other people are laughing, I'm like, I want to know what's funny too. Yes, like what's going on? I'm nosy. What's going on over there? I want to laugh. Sometimes I'll even start laughing. I don't even know what's it about. I'm like, it must have been funny. It's so contagious. Alicia, laughter is so intimate. I love it. I love it too. Oh, and when we talk about the feelings wheel, like we did a few days ago, when someone is laughing, a pure, joyful laughter, their feelings are just, imagine how much we're processing all of that joy when we laugh. That is a form of expression. Yeah, it is intimate. I love it. Yay. And it's so beautiful that when I think about comedians, they are a blessing in the aspect of, in our culture at least, comedians a lot of the time is like a cultural representation to some extent, because when they're sharing their jokes, they practice it and they share it again and again and again. And then if it gets a reaction out of the crowd, or if it doesn't get a reaction out of the crowd, the comedian is constantly searching for messaging that what they're saying is landing. And that, to me, feels very intuitive. Like a comedian has to read the energy of the room. They have to time what they say, how they say it. And of course, there's some persuasive techniques in there, and also some research on the demographic they are sharing those jokes with. And I really enjoy how in the audience, it's a choice to laugh or not. Even the nervous laughter, even the I didn't really like that. I getting a reaction out of someone is connection, right? I feel comedians are in the art of co-creating an experience with a group of people and within a culture, right? And they're even probably creating a culture as they are building different jokes and scenarios throughout their career, right? So yay, laughter. Alicia, I used to cover my laugh because people made fun of my gums. Kids are mean. But now I laugh out loud. Yes, oh my gosh. The gums thing too, because me and my sister have that, and it just looks a little different for both of us. So we had different experiences with the kids are mean thing, but kids are mean regardless. Yeah. But now we laugh out loud. Yes. Oh, and I'm sure that has been a huge part of healing. Have you ever experienced when you are the furthest from being able to laugh, and like maybe just, if we're thinking of the wheel, the feelings wheel, let's say if laughter was over here and something like sadness or anger was on the opposite side of the wheel. Have you ever experienced the opposite of joy and humor, and then it pops out of you, it comes out of you surprisingly? I just experienced that yesterday, and I'm so grateful. because I was really struggling mentally. And then I was able to, over time, laugh. And so I pre-wrote these coping skills. So I'm not picking a coping skill the day of. These are already written and planned. And so the fact that today was laughter, I really needed that. And that Kathy Hapton shared a beautiful story of where she got her laughter from. I just hope that laughter can be the theme of the rest of the weekend, rest of the day, rest of the month, rest of the year. How can we tap more into laughter? How can we accept ourselves more by laughing out loud? Right, Leisha? Yay! Yes, comedy is an art form. Aw, I agree. I agree. I need to find a new comedian, so I might need to start looking. But yes, and art was our coping skill of yesterday. What is art? How can we admire art? So comedy is an art form. Yes. Yes. I've been watching the Parkers a lot, and I've been watching Moesha a lot, and they are all comedians in their own right. And I appreciate that show so, so much. I do. I do. Certain sitcoms are just safe spaces to rewatch for me, and I am so grateful for those actresses and actors and producers and everybody in between. Marissa says, Alicia, yes, laugh out loud. Yes, I love both of your laughs. Whenever you laugh, whenever you even crack a smile, I'm like, ee! Yes, it's so contagious. Alicia says, comedians are healers, taking pain and trauma, fun and play, nostalgia and storytelling, and turning them into lightness. I admire them. Wow, that was so beautiful. Wow, because they do talk about things from the dark to the light. You are right. Yes, yes. Ooh. Allowing people to reflect and process with a smile on their face, like, who knows, that might expedite the healing process to some extent. That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Alicia. I love that. I'm Marissa. Yes, yes. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Marissa says, yes, I have found that noticing the absurdity in life makes me laugh and is a great coping skill. I have learned to take things a lot less seriously. Ooh, and that's a tip. That's a tip right there. Take things a lot less seriously. Yesterday, our coping, or the day before Admire Art, our coping skill was simplify. Less is more. That was on the 13th. Less is more. Look at us. We're putting all these coping skills together. Woohoo! So many coping skills, and did we even know that? Yes. Oh, wow. Take things a lot less seriously. Whew. Wow. That is a sign of inner peace, like the song we just listened to. When I can realize that it's actually not that serious. How many things did I have to unlearn to get to that point? That is a whoa, that is a huge thing to celebrate. Woohoo! Yay! Go Marissa, go Marissa, go Marissa. You go ahead and not take things seriously. Not as seriously, right? Yes. Ooh, things are not life and death. And isn't that a beautiful thing? Oh, because everything that is for me will fall in place, right? And whatever is for me will find its way to me. Yay! Thank you so much for sharing that. We are coming up with the Friday morning gems. Alicia, at Marissa, okay, life will definitely have you cracking up. Oh my gosh, isn't that the truth? My little brother called me the other day when I was at my friend's house on FaceTime, and you know that like dance, I think it's on one of the social medias, it's like a popular dance, the Jubilee slide, I think, where it looks like they're kind of like walking on air, but it's like a little dance. Well, my little brother called me and he's like, look what I learned how to do at school today. And he just started doing the dance. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm just laughing. And I asked him, do you want to show my friend? And he's like, yeah, sure. And it was just, it had us cracking up. It lifted our, not that our mood was low, but it just lifted us and our mood. And we were just smiling all big after that. And it's really the small things. It's really a beautiful thing that laughter can take you by surprise and just shift the direction of your whole day. Laughter opens me up. Laughter opens my heart. Yes. Yay. Marissa, Adelicia. Yep. Bypass cracking up. Yep. We've been cracking up this whole month in the mornings. Woo-wee. I love it here. I love it here. Okay. Thank you so much. So yes, laughter. Ooh, pure humor. Pure humor. Let's see. Awesome. Marissa says, I have intentionally cultivated an inner voice that is humorous to get through difficult situations, like an inner funny parent to myself. Oh, wow. Wow. I love this. I love this. I love this. I'm sure you have so many like inside jokes with yourself. Isn't that so beautiful? And it shows, Marissa, it shows that you have worked on developing and maintaining a beautiful relationship with yourself. This is why I really respect and admire you as a being and the content you create and the stories you decide to tell. Because I would love to incorporate this as well, a funny inner voice, a humorous inner voice to get through difficult situations. I need this too. I think we all need this, and we all probably have it, but to cater to it and to give it a space in life, like a conscious awareness of this voice is here and this voice is my choice to engage with. I love that. Ooh, another tip. Another coping skill tip. Yes, that inner voice, how we talk to ourselves. Ooh, and if we don't have that yet, how about we start with either writing, doing written or verbal conversations with ourselves, right? Like for me, when I started writing my book, I'm creating the story characters to be different aspects of myself. And it's not necessarily that I need to embody that. It's just that I'm giving myself an opportunity to experiment with different layers of myself and different sides of myself, and even different people I've met throughout my life, and looking at the details of what a being can be and how a personality can show up. And so if you would like to practice this and want an idea, maybe start storytelling, right? Make up stories on your own and see how much humor, pure humor, you have inside of you. Because you do. Isn't that so beautiful when we can make ourselves laugh? Another sign of a healing person. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Marissa. This is beautiful. I love this. Yay! Yes, that was so beautiful. Tips. Yes. Yeah. So, thank you so much. And also, yesterday, to help me out, was I did read some affirmations. And so, sometimes we need a stepping stool, metaphorically, to get to the point where we can actually experience the laughter, the pure humor, for it to be a sustaining force, right? Sometimes we need assistance. Sometimes we need help. Sometimes we just need stillness to feel what we're feeling in the moment. Because that pure humor part, I can laugh and it's a fake laugh. I can laugh and it's not resonating from deep within me. And that's okay too. It's a practice. There is a what would this be called? Mindfulness practice of, I'm not thinking of the exact term right now, but essentially it's when you put a smile on your face, it literally does things to your brain, right? Your brain is receiving certain messages when you're smiling. So even if the smile is not coming from a space of I am actually smiling at something because I'm happy or excited, I could be extremely anxious or sad or stuck in a thought that's creating feelings of dis-ease and uncomfort. I can, if I sit in that, what helps me be able to stick with the practice of sitting in my feeling. Sometimes I have tried this, especially when it's one of those ruminating thoughts that have happened again and again. And I know that if I choose to sit in this, it will affect the rest of my day because it's happened before. So in those moments when I'm like, okay, I want to try a coping skill, I feel a bit stuck. I know I'm feeling something that's uncomfortable right now, and I know there are things that can help me. I just feel this barrier between me and the thing that could help me. So affirmations can help, right? Enough by MNT said she has her copy in her car. So before she ever goes to certain events or she knows she might be nervous, she has one in the space that she knows she usually might need it. Another thing is a smile. So you just put a smile on your face. Go ahead and lift the sides of your mouth. And another thing you could do is look in the mirror while you're doing this and notice the change you feel. Just sit with it and look at your beautiful face as you do it, right? So, oh wow, Marissa. Okay, yes, I've done that before. It triggers happy feelings in your brain. Yes, okay, thank you. So I'm on the right track with this one. Yes. So don't force yourself to do a full blown out laughter. You know, if you want to, that could help too. But yes, you can start with just a smile, right? It takes so many muscles to frown. We can practice them. We can practice coaching them that this is a choice and this is a choice, right? Yes. Ooh, okay. Yay, laughter. Oh, laughter. Alicia says, I use it when I'm feeling depression trying to come in. It actually does help. Wow, yay! Thank y'all for this. Yes, thank you. I really hope there are some people who try some of these things out, right? And I hope that others may share these tips as well, because life can get pretty hectic, and it can be easy to forget these moments that changed our trajectory of our mood, of our day, might even have changed a decision that we made, right? Oh, smiling or laughter just, it lights up the soul. It connects me to myself. Wow, I'm alive. I feel alive when I laugh. So yes. Awesome. So that was our coping skill of the day. Thank you so much for your testimonies this morning. And so I'm going to drink some water, and then if we're ready, we can get into our story time. Yeah. And thank you again for the understanding and patience from yesterday. We didn't read our story. But yes, go ahead and check out Cocoon, Affirmations for Transformation by Marissa Price. That is in my community page. Check out her YouTube channel. She is our author of the week. And I am so grateful to be able to be in community with you ladies and everyone on the replay. Thank you so much for checking in. I've noticed that the live streams, the replays are actually getting views each day, and each week they're getting more views. So it just reminds me that if I stick to this whole rest of the month, there is going to be an array of coping skills, community holding, healing spaces, and cool stories that are going to be on Teatime.beauty, the YouTube channel. So thank you so much for you all for joining my lives. I know that this is going to touch so many people's hearts from now on, because it's going to stay here online. So yay, get cozy, get your water, take your vitamins, and I will get our book and get started. Marissa says, yes, they are, because you're amazing, Danny. Thank you so much. Takes one to know one. Alicia says, yay! You're doing amazing, Danny. Thank you so much. Ooh, and that means a lot coming from you, because you're years deep into this journey. So I know I'm doing something right. I'm just a little something, just a little something light. Bless you. Yay. Yay. And I definitely have you all in mind as I'm building my external validations journal. It's so fun to share a project, share an idea, and know that you have a safe place to share with, right? I know artistically and creatively, we have a right over the creative property that we share. And so I'm very blessed to be able to have you ladies to share things with in a very safe, comfortable way. And I don't have any fears that I might be taken advantage of or anything. So that is actually a very big thing that I prayed for. And I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. I don't take that lightly. I don't. I believe my projects are just going to come to fruition that much faster because I'm in community that I value and I'm valued in. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Muchas gracias. I appreciate you. Marissa says, at Alicia, a legend among us. Oh my gosh, I'm blushing. Yay. Oh my gosh. See? So great. So great. Thank you. Ah. Okay, so let's put on some música.
Therapy for me came up.
I just thought about, imagine how beautiful it would be if just one day or someone, if we had a space like this and then we had an event where we were on the beach, because I've done this before with a group of my, well, when I was a mentor, all of the mentors, before we all got our mentees for the beginning of the school year, we would have kind of a retreat. And for a weekend, we'd all of the mentors and the faculty who were in charge, like our boss, we would all go somewhere and we like be in nature together. And one of the times we all went to a beach and we just sat in a circle and we did just sharing and talking and like goal setting and like what are our inspirations and intentions for the year, and what kind of spaces do you want to hold and experiences do you want your mentees to have. And I can just imagine us getting together, us healers and us healing, but those of us who are in these leader positions, to just go somewhere in nature, either in the forest or the beach or both. I love when you walk through a forest and then you get to the beach part. Ooh, I love those types of chills. But I can just imagine us being on a beach and just letting the waves like wash over just all over all of us, just the sound of the waves, the saltiness in the air, the birds singing all around us. We've got snacks and drinks, and we even might sing together like a call and response kind of singing, and then just a intuitive like singing together, and someone has like an acoustic instrument and someone has a harmonica, and we all have a journal and stickers. I love stickers. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's gonna happen. I need that in my life. But yes, that sounds so beautiful. Alicia says, that's my dream, to gather in nature, rest, create, and dream. Yes, I'm already preparing for, so Alicia has a plan to do like a road trip kind of thing at some point where she has meetups. So I haven't shared this at all yet, but I'm already preparing that when you come to this side of the West, which I know you'll make it back here sometime, that we can have hiking. I'm already thinking whenever I go hiking, I'm like, ooh, the girls would probably like this hiking spot. Ooh, wouldn't it be so cute if like we, like, I already have those ideas. So since you shared your dream with me, I wrote it down in my journal. It's official. I'm like, I put Alicia / the garden, forest, hiking, hiking, healing. So yes, that's in my journal. And when I go on hikes, that's where the nature walks on my channel really started from, because I'm like, if I start building a community of Black girl hikers now, by the time Alicia makes it over here, I'll be like, come on, girls. So yay. I'm just sharing that right now. So my spirit's like, I just saw it in my head and I'm like, I have to share this. The beach scene is gonna happen. The beach is a spiritual place for me. I'm in. Yes, we got one person in. We got 2 people in. Marissa says yes. Yes. Yay. Okay, well, you know what we have to do now. 1, 2, 3, sisters. And there's 3 of us in here. Wow. Black Girl Hikers is a vibe. Yes, it is. I'm not going to think about it right now, but there's a store around here called REI, and it's like recreational store. And they started a brand for Afro hikers, like those of us who like to get in to nature. And they have a clearance section, and they have like 5 different shirts from that brand, and all different sizes. I bought all of them. I said these are going to be for the ladies, the first 4 ladies, because one was for me, that want to do the hiking group with me. I'm gifting this shirt to them. And when I did, before I left the last toxic job I was in, I had more Black girl coworkers than I ever had, and I loved those girls. And so I like washed the shirts, rolled them all up super cute, put a little ribbon bow on them, and wrote a name card for them. I made it so cute. And I told them the next day at work, I gave them each their shirt. By the way, the shirt sizes ended up being perfect for all of them. So that's not a coincidence. So yes, it's already kind of started. It's just been so cold here. So, but when the spring rolls around, I'm gonna be calling them, texting them. You got your shirt? I know you got your shirt. We ready? So yes. Yay. Yes. It feels safer, right, to be out in the woods with others. And I want to see more of us out there. It would make me feel more comfortable. It would make me want to go out there more if when I'm on my walk, I see a couple girlies pass by me that look like me, right? It's very rare where I am, but I know how healing it has been for me. So I really want to offer that for others, and I'm willing to lead it if I need to lead it. And I'm willing to hold space for any collaboration that might further the reach of this mission of more of us being in nature. Yeah. This is the first time I actually shared that online. So, yay! Stay tuned. Yeah, but for now, I'm just doing the nature walk videos and making sure to keep it in my mind that whenever I go on a hike, whenever I go on a walk, even a lot of the time to motivate myself to do these things and push myself, I think one day there are going to be a line, a row of Black girls, Black women, Black older women behind me and in front of me. We're all going to be together. So in spirit, you're already with me because I walk a lot of the time within my mind. I want to facilitate this with others. So I'm doing it with myself, and I'm doing it to be able to reach my goal of modeling what it's like and remembering all of the moments of me getting stronger and me being able to walk a little bit further each time, or maybe even walking less because I'm noticing my body and how much energy I actually have. Because when I am facilitating these walks, I will need to be gauging how everyone is. So I need to practice how to do that for myself. If I'm no good, I'm not going to be any good leading others through these nature walks. So, yay! Yay! Yes! Yay! Marissa says you're planting seeds. Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. I am. Aw. And the trees are rooting me on. They're like, go, 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 Danny, go. Yay. Yeah, so thank you for letting me share that. A little tangent, but a good one. So we are listening to Afro Lo-Fi, that 90s R&B type love. I love how she comes out with different playlists all the time. Yay! So we planted some seeds this morning. All right, I'm going to drink some more water, and then we are going to read from The Enchanted Wreath. Ooh. Yay. Okay. Yay. So here we go. This is how far we've gotten. We've read every story except one. But that one story we skipped was only 2 pages. So I was like, it's okay. Yes. The Enchanted Wreath. I hope you can hear me okay. Let me try to. Turn that down a bit. Okay. The Enchanted Wreath. Once upon a time, there lived near a forest a man and his wife and 2 girls. One girl was the daughter of the man, and the other the daughter of his wife. And the man's daughter was good and beautiful, but the woman's daughter was ugly and cross. This sounds familiar. Oh, this sounds familiar. Oh, cool. Okay. It's just because there's another story that started off like this, but okay. Oh, Osiyo. Osiyo. Hello. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Our friend from Pakistan. Yay. Yay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start over with this one. I just had to make sure. Once upon a time, there lived near a forest a man and his wife and 2 girls. One girl was the daughter of the man, and the other the daughter of his wife. And the man's daughter was good and beautiful, But the woman's daughter was ugly and cross. However, her mother did not know that, but thought her the most bewitching maiden that ever was seen. One day the man called to his daughter and bade her come with him into the forest to cut wood. They worked hard all day, but in spite of the chopping, they were very cold, for it rained heavily. And when they returned home, they were wet through. Then, to his vexation, the man found that he had left his axe behind him, and he knew that if it lay all night in the mud, it would become rusty and useless. So he said to his wife, I have dropped my axe in the forest. Bid your daughter go and fetch it, for mine has worked hard all day and is both wet and weary. But the wife answered, If your daughter is wet already, it is all the more reason that she should go and get the axe. Besides, she is a great strong girl, and a little rain will not hurt her, while my daughter would be sure to catch a bad cold. By long experience, the man knew there was no good saying any more, and with a sigh, he told the poor girl she must return to the forest for the axe. The walk took some time, for it was very dark, and her shoes often struck in the mud. But she was brave as well as beautiful, and never thought of turning back merely because the path was both difficult and unpleasant. At last, with her dress torn by brambles that she could not see, and her face scratched by the twigs on the trees, she reached the spot where she and her father had been cutting in the morning, and found the axe in the place he had left it. To her surprise, 3 little doves were sitting on the handle, all of them looking very sad. You poor little things, said the girl, stroking them. Why do you sit there and get wet? Go and fly home to your nest. It will be much warmer than this. But first, eat this bread, which I saved from my dinner, and perhaps you will feel happier. It is my father's axe you are sitting on, and I must take it back as fast as I can, or I shall get a terrible scolding from my stepmother. She then crumbled the bread on the ground and was pleased to see the doves flutter quite cheerfully towards it. Goodbye, she said, picking up the axe, and went her way homewards. By the time they had finished all the crumbs, the doves felt much better and were able to fly back to their nest in the top of a tree. That is a good girl, said one. I really was too weak to stretch out a wing before she came. I should like to do something to show how grateful I am. Well, let us give her a wreath of flowers that will never fade as long as she wears it, cried another. And let the tiniest singing birds in the world sit amongst the flowers, rejoined the third. Yes, that will do beautifully, said the first. And when the girl stepped into her cottage, a wreath of rosebuds was on her head, and a crowd of little birds were singing unseen. The father, who was sitting by the fire, thought that, in spite of her muddy clothes, he had never seen his daughter looking so lovely. But the stepmother and the other girl grew wild with envy. How absurd to walk about on such a pouring night, dressed up like that, she remarked crossly, and roughly pulled off the wreath as she spoke to place it on her own daughter. As she did so, the roses became withered and brown, and the birds flew out of the window. See what a trumpery thing it is, cried the stepmother. And now take your supper and go to bed, for it is near upon midnight. But though she pretended to despise the wreath, she longed none the less for her daughter to have one like it. Now it happened that the next evening the father, who had been alone in the forest, came back a second time without his axe. The stepmother's heart was glad when she saw this, and she said quite mildly, Why, you have forgotten your axe again, you careless man. But now your daughter shall stay at home, and mine shall go and bring it back." And throwing a cloak over the girl's shoulders, she bade her hasten to the forest. With a very ill grace, the damsel set forth, grumbling to herself as she went. For though she wished for the wreath, she did not at all want the trouble of getting it. By the time she reached the spot where her stepfather had been cutting the wood, the girl was in a very bad temper indeed. And when she caught sight of the axe, there were the three little doves, with drooping heads and soiled, bedraggled feathers, sitting on the handle. "You dirty creatures," cried she, "get away at once, or I will throw stones at you." And the doves spread their wings in a fright, and flew up to the very top of a tree, their bodies shaking with anger. "What shall we do to revenge ourselves on her?" asked the smallest of the doves. "We were never treated like that before." "Never," said the biggest dove. "We must find some way of paying her back in her own coin." "I know," answered the middle dove. "She shall never be able to say anything but 'dirty creatures' to the end of her life." "Oh, how clever of you! That will do beautifully," exclaimed the other two, and they flapped their wings and clucked so loud with delight, and made such a noise that they woke up all the birds in the trees close by. "What in the world is the matter?" asked the birds sleepily. "That is our secret," said the doves. Meanwhile, the girl had reached home, crosser than ever. But as soon as her mother heard her lift the latch of the door, she ran out to hear her adventures. "Well, did you get the wreath?" cried she. "Dirty creatures," answered her daughter. "Don't speak to me like that. What do you mean?" asked the mother again. "Dirty creatures," repeated the daughter, and nothing else could she say. Then the woman saw that something evil had befallen her, and turned in her rage to her stepdaughter. "You are at the bottom of this, I know," she cried, and as the father was out of the way, she took a stick and beat the girl till she screamed with pain and went to bed sobbing. If the poor girl's life had been miserable before, it was 10 times worse now. For the moment her father's back was turned, the others teased and tormented her from morning till night, and their fury was increased by the sight of the wreath, which the doves had placed again on her head. Things went on like this for some weeks, when, one day, as the king's son was riding through the forest, he heard some strange birds singing more sweetly than birds had ever sung before. He tied his horse to a tree and followed where the sound led him, and to his surprise, he saw before him a beautiful girl chopping wood, with a wreath of pink rosebuds, out of which the singing came. Standing in the shelter of a tree, he watched her a long while, and then, hat in hand, he went up and spoke to her. "Fair maiden, who are you, and who gave you that wreath of singing roses?" asked he, for the birds were so tiny that till you looked closely you never saw them. "I live in a hut on the edge of a forest," she answered, blushing, for she had never spoken to a prince before. "And as to the wreath, I know not how it came here, unless it may be the gift of some doves whom I fed when they were starving." The prince was delighted with this answer, which showed the goodness of the girl's heart. And besides, he had fallen in love with her beauty, and would not be content till she promised to return with him to the palace and become his bride. Okay, a little bit pushy, but okay. Okay, back to the story. The old king was naturally disappointed at his son's choice of a wife, as he wished him to marry a neighboring princess. But as from his birth, the prince had always done exactly as he liked. Nothing was said, and a splendid wedding feast was got ready. The day after her marriage, the bride sent a messenger, bearing handsome presents to her father, and telling him of the good fortune which had befallen her. As may be imagined, the stepmother and her daughter were so filled with envy that they grew quite ill and had to take to their beds, and nobody would have been sorry if they had never got up again. But that did not happen. At length, however, they began to feel better, for the mother invented a plan by which she could be revenged on the girl who had never done her any harm. Her plan was this: in the town where she had lived before she was married, there was an old witch who had more skill in magic than any other witch she knew. To this witch she would go and beg her to make her a mask with the face of her stepdaughter. And when she had the mask, the rest would be easy. She told her daughter what she meant to do, and although the daughter could only say, "Dirty creatures," in answer, she nodded and smiled and looked well pleased. Everything fell out exactly as the woman had hoped. By the aid of her magic mirror, the witch beheld the new princess walking in her gardens in a dress of green silk, and in a few minutes had produced a mask so like her that very few people could have told the difference. However, she counseled the women that when her daughter first wore it, for that, of course, was what she intended her to do, she had better pretend that she had a toothache and cover her head with a lace veil. The woman thanked her and paid her well, and returned to her hut, carrying the mask with her under her cloak. In a few days, she heard that a great hunt was planned, and the prince would leave the palace very early in the morning, so that his wife could be alone all day. This was a chance not to be missed, and taking her daughter with her, she went up to the palace, where she had never been before. The princess was too happy in her new home to remember all that she had suffered in the old one, and she welcomed them both gladly and gave them quantities of beautiful things to take back with them. At last, she took them down to the shore to see a pleasure boat which her husband had made for her. And here, the woman, seizing her opportunity, stole softly behind the girl and pushed her off the rock on which she was standing into the deep water, where she instantly sank to the bottom. Then she fastened the mask on her daughter, flung over her shoulders a velvet cloak, which the princess had let fall, and finally arranged a lace veil over her head. "Rest your cheek on your hand, as if you were in pain, when the prince returns," said the mother, "and be careful not to speak, whatever you do. I will go back to the witch and see if she cannot take off the spell laid on you by those horrible birds. Ah, why did I not think of it before?" No sooner had the prince entered the palace than he hastened to the princess's apartments, where he found her lying on the sofa, apparently in great pain. "My dearest wife, what is the matter with you?" he cried, kneeling down beside her and trying to take her hand. But she snatched it away and, pointing to her cheek, murmured something he could not catch. "What is it? Tell me, is the pain bad? When did it begin? Shall I send for your ladies to bathe the place?" asked the prince, pouring out these and a dozen other questions, to which the girl only shook her head. "But I can't leave you like this," he continued, starting up. "I must summon all the court physicians to apply some soothing balsams to the sore place." And as he spoke, he sprang to his feet to go in search of them. This so frightened the pretended wife, who knew that if the physicians once came near her, the trick would at once be discovered, that she forgot her mother's counsel not to speak, and forgot even the spell that had been laid upon her, and catching hold of the prince's tunic, she cried in tones of entreaty, "Dirty creatures!" The young man stopped, not able to believe his ears. But suppose that pain had made the princess cross, as it sometimes does. However, he guessed somehow that she wished to be left alone, so he only said, "Well, I dare say a little sleep will do you good, if you can manage to get it, and that you will wake up better tomorrow." Now that night happened to be very hot and airless, and the prince, after vainly trying to rest, at length got up and went to the window. Suddenly, he beheld in the moonlight a form with a wreath of roses on her head rise out of the sea below him and step onto the sands, holding out her arms as she did so towards the palace. "That maiden is strangely like my wife," thought he. "I must see her closer." And he hastened down to the water. But when he got there, the princess, for she indeed it was, had disappeared completely, and he began to wonder if his eyes had deceived him. The next morning, he went to the false bride's room, but her ladies told him she would neither speak nor get up, though she ate everything they set before her. The prince was sorely perplexed as to what could be the matter with her, for naturally he could not guess that she was expecting her mother to return every moment, and to remove the spell the doves had laid upon her, and meanwhile was afraid to speak lest she should betray herself. At length he made up his mind to summon all the court physicians. He did not tell her what he was going to do, lest it should make her worse, but he went himself and begged the 4 learned leeches attached to the king's person to follow him to the princess's apartments. Unfortunately, as they entered, the princess was so enraged at the sight of them that she forgot all about the doves and shrieked out, "Dirty creatures! Dirty creatures!" which so offended the physicians that they left the room at once, and nothing that the prince could say would prevail on them to remain. He then tried to persuade his wife to send them a message that she was sorry for her rudeness, but not a word would she say. Late that evening, when he had performed all the tiresome duties which fall to the lot of every prince, the young man was leaning out of his window, refreshing himself with the cool breezes that blew off the sea. His thoughts went back to the scene of the morning, and he wondered if, after all, he had not made a great mistake in marrying a low-born wife. However beautiful she might be, how could he have imagined that the quiet, gentle girl who had been so charming a companion to him during the first days of their marriage could have become in a day the rude, sulky woman who could not control her temper even to benefit herself? One thing was clear. If she did not change her conduct very shortly, he would have to send her away from court. He was thinking these thoughts when his eyes fell on the sea beneath him, and there, as before, was the figure that so closely resembled his wife, standing with her feet in the water, holding out her arms to him. "Wait for me, wait for me, wait for me," he cried, not even knowing he was speaking. But when he reached the shore, there was nothing to be seen but the shadows cast by the moonlight. A state ceremonial in a city some distance off caused the prince to ride away at daybreak, and he left without seeing his wife again. "Perhaps she may come to her senses by tomorrow," said he to himself, "and somehow, if I am going to send her back to her father, it might be better if we did not meet in the meantime." Then he put the matter from his mind and kept his thoughts on the duty that lay before him. It was nearly midnight when he returned to the palace, but instead of entering, he went down to the shore and hid behind a rock. He had scarcely done so when the girl came out of the sea and stretched out her arms towards his window. In an instant, the prince had seized her hand, and though she made a frightened struggle to reach the water, for she in her turn had had a spell laid upon her, he held her fast. "You are my own wife, and I shall never let you go," he said. But the words were hardly out of his mouth when he found that it was a hare that he was holding by the paw. Then the hare changed into a fish, and the fish into a bird, and the bird into a slimy, wriggling snake. This time, the prince's hand nearly opened of itself, but with a strong effort, he kept his fingers shut, and drawing his sword, cut off its head. When the spell was broken, and the girl stood before him, as he had seen her first, the wreath upon her head, and the bird singing for joy. The very next morning, the stepmother arrived at the palace with an ointment that the old witch had given her to place upon the daughter's tongue, which would break the dove's spell, if the rightful bride had really been drowned in the sea. If not, then it would be useless. The mother assured her that she had not seen her stepdaughter. The mother assured her that she had seen her stepdaughter sink, and that there was no fear that she would ever come up again. But to make all quite safe, the old woman might bewitch the girl, and so she did. After that, the wicked stepmother traveled all through the night to get to the palace as soon as possible, and made her way straight into her daughter's room. "I have got it! I have got it!" she cried triumphantly, and laid the ointment on her daughter's tongue. "Now what do you say?" she asked proudly. Dirty creatures," answered the daughter. And the mother wrung her hands and wept, as she knew that all her plans had failed. At this moment, the prince entered with his real wife. "You both deserve death," he said, "and if it were left to me, you should have it. But the princess has begged me to spare your lives. So you will be put into a ship and carried off to a desert island, where you will stay till you die." Then the ship was made ready, and the wicked woman and her daughter were placed in it, and it sailed away, and no more was heard of them. But the prince and his wife lived together long and happily, and ruled their people well. Adapted from Thorpe's Yuletide Stories. Yay! We did it! I know! Osiyo! Thank you for being here. Yes. So, there is always grace applied from the ones that are being treated the worst. Isn't that so interesting? I see myself in a lot of these characters sometimes. Yay, we did it! We did it! We did it! So yes, our coping skill of the day, laughter. So I'm praying for lots of laughter for this upcoming day, for this weekend, for the rest of the month. And on Monday, you know what? I've been saying it's Friday. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. So tomorrow, Friday 16th, we will be reading The Foolish Weaver. Ooh, and coping skill to be announced. Yes. Awesome. So thank you so much for planting seeds with me today. I am over here. Oh my gosh. No, I know, right? It's because I was confidently saying Friday, like it's Friday, like oh my gosh, but yes, it's Thursday. So I'm so excited to see all of your beautiful faces tomorrow. If you can make it, if not, it'll always be on the replay. And for those on the replay, find some way to laugh today. Tell someone who makes you laugh that you like their laugh and you appreciate their humor, that you appreciate their sense of humor. Yeah. Marissa, we got what you meant. It's all good. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay. So much forgiveness, so much grace. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. And again, remember, let me go ahead and take these off. Today and this week, we really want Marissa to be able to have more people know about Cocoon. So remember, you can check on my community page if you'd like to access the Amazon link. You can type in on Amazon.com, Marissa Price MSW, Cocoon. You can also go to Marissa Price's website, or you can go to her YouTube channel and find all of her offerings and, let's see, her offerings, links, websites, and community spaces on there. Oh, wow. Woohoo! Marissa Price Week. Marissa Price Week. Yes, of course. Of course. I appreciate this. So thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Trees. Good morning, American Copper Dragon Child. Good morning, Osiyo. 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 Yay. So please go back and watch our story time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. Yay! Yay! All right, everyone. Enjoy your Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow morning live. Okay, much love. Wado.